was voted best casual dining in Western Kentucky.
Couple of big district volleyball matches on tap for tonight. Fort Campbell, looking for their first win of the season, will host Christian County, who makes the trip to Post, looking to get a district win as well. In the 5th District, Trigg County will host Livingston Central. The Lady Wildcats not only looking for a district win, they're also looking for their first win of the year. Hopkinsville will be at Davis County, and Heritage Christian Academy will host Rossview. HCA is 5-2 against Tennessee schools this year. On the boys' soccer schedule for tonight, Hopkinsville will host Madisonville. We'll get a good look at both of those Region 2 contenders, and Lyon County will host Marshall County. On the girls' soccer schedule, Fort Campbell makes the trip to Eddyville. They'll play Lyon County. Caldwell County will host Graves County, and Trigg County will host the Lady Rebels of Todd County Central tonight. That'll be at the Recreation Complex. Be sure to visit yoursportsedge.com. Our Spotlight Athlete this week, sponsored by Parker Eye Care, is Hopkinsville sophomore Allison Wood. She set a school record on the track back in the spring. She's looking to add a school record with her time in cross country this fall, and she does it all while she also plays soccer this fall for the Lady Tigers. She talks about that balance and also talks about her goals for both the cross country season and the soccer season. She's our Spotlight Athlete at yoursportsedge.com.
A taste of the Orient and authentic Chinese food awaits you at the Great Wall Chinese Restaurant in Princeton. Enjoy the lunch buffet Monday through Saturday, 11 to 3:30, and the dinner buffet from 3:30 to 9. Friday and Saturday night, enjoy the seafood buffet featuring onion shrimp and frog legs. Be sure to ask for your coupon card. Buy 9 buffets and get 1 free. Dine in or carry out at the Great Wall. Open daily, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Located in the Princeton Plaza off Highway 62, West Princeton.
Brantley Furniture has been a mainstay in Princeton for many years. Jeannie, Megan, and the staff invite you to shop with them for all your home furniture and decor needs. They feature a large selection of living room, dining room, and bedroom furniture and mattresses. Their accent pieces and accessories are just phenomenal. They also carry baby furniture. For personal service and great selection, visit Brantley Furniture in historic downtown Princeton. Like them on Facebook and watch for weekly specials.
Just days after you probably enjoyed pictures of DeMarcus Cousins' wedding, he is now under investigation by the NBA. His former girlfriend, Christy West, filed a police report in Mobile, Alabama, and she provided authorities with an audio tape that she says contains the voice of Cousins. On the tape, a male voice says, "I'll put a bullet in your blank head." Cousins allegedly said that to her when she balked at allowing his 7-year-old son to attend the wedding with his new girlfriend. She filed the report asking officials to keep Cousins away from her and her son, but says she's open to allowing him to have supervised visitation. DeMarcus' latest team, the LA Lakers, issued a statement saying they are aware of the allegation, they're gathering information, and would reserve comment at this time. The Tennessee Titans close out their preseason activities tonight. The 1 and 2 Titans face the Bears on the road. Broadcast time 6 o'clock on your home of the Titans, 106.5 WKDZ. College football begins tonight for several area teams. Murray is at home and welcomes Pikeville. Austin Peay takes on North Carolina Central in Clarksville, and the WKU Hilltoppers are on the road at Central Illinois. Wednesday baseball, Cardinals lose to Milwaukee 4-1. Cubs whip the Mets 10-7. Reds shut out the Marlins 5-0, and the Braves 9, Blue Jays 4. That's it for your Thursday. Join your fellow UK fans on Facebook in Wildcat Lair. I'm Eddie Owen.
Give your infant toddler a good start with WIC. WIC will provide formula and baby food for infants and nutritional foods for toddlers, children, and pregnant and breastfeeding moms. A family of 4 can make up to $46,435 annual gross income and still qualify for WIC. Those on Medicaid will qualify with their Medicaid card. Grandparents raising their grandchildren, there is help. Contact your local health department in Caldwell, Crittenden, Livingston, Lyon, or Trigg County to set up an appointment. WIC is an equal opportunity provider.
At Kentucky Homes Realty, real estate is their life, and sold is their favorite word. Kelly Mitchell, principal broker and owner, invites you to contact her office if you're looking to buy a home. They've teamed up with Movement Mortgage to provide a way for you to have the home of your dreams. Go to kyhomes247.com and find out exactly how much home you can afford. It takes less than 60 seconds to get the ball rolling.
This is Kelly Mitchell with Kentucky Homes Realty. Contact me and let's make this dream of yours a reality.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Health First Community Health Center.
You've been listening to your WPKY News Edge. Find news 24 hours a day at WPKYonline.com.
1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton 802 with Tess and Ty on a Thursday.
Got a great show coming up on the Sideline Report. Todd Griffin has visitors in the studio. Kent Reed is here. We're probably going to talk some UK football, possibly, maybe some baseball. No telling what else.
People are retiring in their 20s in the NFL. What in the world?
Yeah, we could even mention that. And we've got maybe even some surprises that pop up.
Hey. So. As far as sports, this is right here.
You're ready for middle school
right
football.
Right here. I'm
football
on, baby. Ready. 8:03 with Tess and Ty. Stick around. We've got our community calendar coming up next on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. People up and down the east coast of Florida are told to prepare for Hurricane Dorian.
We have to be ready for everything. We don't know what could happen.
He's filling up on gas in Davie, Florida. Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands got heavy rain and power outages, but no major damage is reported there. The Dorian's expected to hit over Labor Day weekend in Florida. Children born to some American service members or other federal employees overseas will now not be granted automatic citizenship. Fox's Sean Langell.
Acting U.S. Customs and Immigration Services Director Ken Cuccinelli tells Fox's Shannon Bream.
This does not affect the children of whether they be government employees or military members who are U.S. citizens born abroad.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi calling it an attack on American diplomats and service members. However, a Pentagon spokeswoman says the Defense Department understands the estimated impact is small.
Affecting mostly children of non-citizens serving overseas. America is listening to Fox News.
W277CK Princeton. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Gorgeous day on tap. Sunshine today, a high 84. Clear overnight tonight, a low down to 62. And more sunshine for Friday, a high near 86. Should be a great evening for football all around West Kentucky. Overnight low of 64 and plenty of sunshine for Saturday. And continuing through the holiday weekend, highs in the upper 80s and no really chance of rain until about Wednesday. Again for today, sunshine 84. It is 58 and clear and sunny at WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Cozy Living Interiors.
Time to take a look at community news here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. This morning's community news is brought to you by Community Medical Clinic.
Well, get the camera out. The Caldwell County Democratic Women's Club will be offering the 34th annual Cutest Baby Contest for children 2 and under, residents and non-residents alike of Caldwell County. Parents, grandparents should take a 5x7 color or black and white photo to Carol at the Woodall Agency on West Washington Street in Princeton. $20 per photo per child with a photo entry deadline tomorrow, August 30th. Winner will be announced September 2nd and will receive a trophy. For more information, you can contact Carol at the Woodall Agency.
We'll load up the kids in lawn chairs and bring the whole family to the Princeton Proud Block Party on the Butler Lawn. Now, that's going to be in Princeton on Saturday, August 31st. That's this Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. Free food, bouncy house, dunking booth, face painting, and more.
Well, the annual Black Patch Book Sale coming up Saturday, August 31st. That's this Saturday. It'll run through September 7th. Make sure you get a good place in line for the grand opening. Check back every day during the sale for restocks and new donations. Sale opens each morning at 9 a.m. Open late on September 3rd and 5th until 5 p.m. for those who want to look throughout the day. For more information, call the library, 270-365-2884.
Well, the VFW Post 5595 will be holding a fish fry this Saturday, August 31st from 2 p.m. until 5:30 p.m. Now, at the Post, located at 121 East Main Street in Princeton, it's going to be 2 fish fillets, hush puppies, coleslaw, and white beans for just $10. Now, the public is welcome to attend, and call-in and carry-out orders will be available by calling the Post at 270-365-3060. All proceeds will go towards helping our local veterans in our community.
Join the UK College of Agriculture and Caldwell County Extension Office for a day full of all things equine. Between the exhibitor booths, guest speakers, vendors, and a meal that's provided for free. Plan to stay all afternoon and evening. You won't want to miss this one. It's located on the picturesque Weber's Retired Horse Farm on Dripping Springs Road in Princeton. From cost share and field and pasture management to feeding from the inside and out, there's something for everyone to sink their teeth into at this educational session. Every half hour from experts who are in the know. The fun starts Thursday, September 5th, 3:30 to 8 p.m. An RSVP is appreciated and required and can be made by calling the UK Extension office by 365-2787.
Well, it's finally here, Ty. Come on early, get your seat for the 15th annual Black Patch Gospel Singing. Now, that's going to be next Saturday, September 7th at 6 p.m. at First Baptist Church on West Main Street in Princeton. This year's featured musical artist is the Tribute Quartet. Now, there's going to be plenty of seating, and admission is free. For more information, you can give Wesley Curtis a call at 270-625-3512.
If this community is as important to you as it is to us, we invite you to join us weekdays for our WPKY local newscast at 6:30, 7:30, noon, and 5. 20 newscasts a week means we're committed to keeping you informed on local events. You can also find news when you want it at WPKYonline.com. Thanks for listening to 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Get into shape and feel good at Trilogy Performance Sports. Trilogy is a family-friendly environment that offers a wide range of classes to reach your fitness and well-being goals. Whether you're into yoga, gymnastics, sports training, team training, cardio, kickboxing, or weightlifting, Trilogy has something for the whole family. Family discounts available, and your first 2 weeks are free. Located in Princeton behind Cash Express. Be better than you used to be at Trilogy Performance Sports. It's time to stop smoking once and for all by attending the next Mark Patrick Hypnosis Seminar in Hopkinsville. In just 2 hours, you can finally become a lifelong non-smoker. Regardless of your past experience or how long you've been smoking, this program is designed so you can stop smoking without anxiety, irritability, or gaining any weight. For only $49.99, you can become a non-smoker through hypnosis. Thursday, September 12th at the Holiday Inn Hotel, 2910 Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville from 8 to 10 p.m. Registration starts at 7:30. Seating is limited, so get there early to reserve your spot. All forms of payment are accepted, or for more information, go to markpatrickseminars.com. Over 500,000 have attended their program. Try it. It can work for you. Almost everyone knows someone who has stopped smoking using hypnosis. Now that someone can be you. Attend the Mark Patrick Seminar Thursday, September 12th at the Holiday Inn Hotel, 2910 Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville, and use the power of hypnosis to stop smoking now.
If you're looking for unique and colorful women's clothing and jewelry for all ages, you'll love the Joshua Tree Boutique on the Court Square in Princeton. Rhonda Stone, the owner, loves choosing beautiful, unique, and colorful clothing for her shop. So head on in and see a sneak peek of what's new this year. And while you're there, take advantage of some sale racks. You'll love the savings and the fashions at the Joshua Tree. Be sure to like them on Facebook for updates and photos of fashions at the Joshua Tree Boutique at 110 East Court Square in Princeton.
My town, my Taco John's.
My favorite thing about summer? The taste of it. Fresh vegetables and a palette of color right on my plate. Like the all-new Sierra Chicken Sandwich, only at Taco John's. Made with TJ's own creamy Parmesan peppercorn Sierra sauce, a grilled chicken breast, and zesty recipe salsa, hugged by warm flatbread. Like summer, it's back, but only for a limited time.
My Taco John's.
Taco John's, Princeton.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street. And once again this week, just about a full studio in here with us as we get on the air with the Sideline Report. First of all, Ty Englebright sticking around with us, and thanks for sticking around, Ty.
I always love being here, Todd. Appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, sorry for creeping around behind you guys while you were trying to do the community calendar. I wanted to sneeze. I wanted to yell.
And you did well. You held it all in.
A professional.
You are a professional.
So Ty Englebright is here. Also welcoming in this morning one of the University of Kentucky's biggest fans, Kent Reed is in the studio with us. And Kent, good morning, and thanks for coming in this morning.
Glad to be here. Y'all are two good old friends of mine, and I'm looking forward to it.
Also in the studio with us, Bruce Alexander. Bruce, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And I think I'm outgunned this morning. Atlanta Braves fans in the studio with us.
Yeah, go Braves.
Oh, yeah. And boy, I tell you what, the young guns looking good, aren't they, Bruce?
They are. I think they're ahead of schedule. So
I think they're on pace for 98 wins from what I can calculate and been reading. So let's see if it can continue.
And they've had large success against the Dodgers and the Cardinals. So
yeah, and they're going to probably be in the mix come October.
Yes, sir.
And the Cardinals are in first place. So there we go.
Life is good.
So we're all happy.
Somebody's got to win the Central.
Yeah, somebody. And hey, all you got to do is get in the playoffs.
That's right.
It doesn't matter how many wins you've got. If you get in, you're good.
And it's a new season.
So a busy show. We're going to talk to Ken about everything UK. Bruce is going to chime in too. Ty is going to make comments. I'll be here. So busy show going on today on the Sideline Report, but we need to get to a break first, so we'll continue after this on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Get spruced up with quality mulch from Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road in Princeton. We all know that buying mulch by the truckload saves money, and it's only $25 per load for dark natural mulch at Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road, 1/2 mile past City County Park. Bashir Sawmill also buys standing timber and timberland. Give them a call today, 270-365-2330. That's Bashir Sawmill, family owned and operated in Princeton for over 50 years. This is Todd Griffin with your SportsEdge.com. Every Thursday morning in the 8 a.m. hour here on WPKY, we bring you the Sideline Report. This is your invitation to join us as we talk sports. Sometimes it's local sports, sometimes we talk about national sports news. We always have a guest, and you are always invited to listen. The Sideline Report is brought to you in part by ABC Finance, U-Ride, and Bashir Sawmill. I'll be looking for you to join us Thursday mornings at 8:05 for the Sideline Report. You can tune in on 1580, 103.3, or online at WPKYonline.com.
Coming soon in the fall of 2019, a state-of-the-art memory care unit at Princeton Health and Rehab. This unit will have 38 available beds, its own dining and activity areas, which will include a multi-sensory snooze room, a highly therapeutic environment for the purpose of delivering high levels of stimuli to patients with dementia. The highly desirable setting and space will fill up quickly. Please contact Angie Copeland today to secure your place. Call 270-705-0688.
It's summertime and the air conditioner is running non-stop. Hard to believe, in a few short months it'll be time to turn on the heat. Fortner Gas is offering a great summer special right now. That means the lowest priced propane of the year. Now is the time to take advantage and get propane tanks filled at the lowest price of the year. Customers can also pre-buy for winter at a locked-in rate. Call Fortner Gas in Princeton today.
Sideline Report rolling on a Thursday morning from 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us this morning. This is Todd Griffin in the WPKY studios. Again, Kent Reed with us, Bruce Alexander, Ty Englebright in the studio. And Kent, when we came on, we mentioned you're a really big UK fan, but in reality, you're just a really big sports fan, right?
That's correct.
And how did you kind of get into the UK thing?
Well, I went to high school in Bardstown, which was relatively close to Louisville and Lexington. And I would say at that time that I was 10, 11, 12, Kentucky had the top two coaches in the nation at that one school, in Rupp and Barry Bryant. And the Samuels of Maker's Mark Distillery fame, they had season tickets, had a bunch of them, and they would take young Bill and I in to football games. And the first game that I remember made a big impact on me was New Year's Day of '51. Kentucky upset Oklahoma, who had not been beaten in 3 years. I think they had a 34-game win streak, and they had Bud Wilkinson as the coach, and Babe Pirelli and company beat him and stopped that streak. And that was a big day and got me started.
Well, and that 1950 team, that was like one of Kentucky's best ever, right?
In 49, 50, and 51, Kentucky went to the Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, and Cotton Bowl. They had gone to a bowl a few years before that, the Great Lakes Bowl in 46. The quarterback of the 46 team was George Blanda.
Wow.
And then the quarterback of the next team that was so good was Babe Pirelli.
That's a pretty good run for the Cats. And George Blanda, how long did he play in the NFL?
Long time. He was the all-time leading scorer for a long time.
It seems like I think he played well into his 40s, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean that was quite a thing. But just looking back through the years, who are some of your favorite coaches or players that you remember at UK?
Well, in football, I think Pirelli was my idol, everybody's idol. He was the quarterback. He had the all-time SEC record with touchdown passes for a career. He didn't get to play as a freshman. So in his sophomore, junior, and senior year, he threw 50 touchdown passes. And that wasn't broken until Spurrier got to Florida and started throwing the ball, 50 times a game. And Bear didn't throw it 20 times a game. Pirelli was lucky to have gotten off 15 passes a game. But Pirelli was the quarterback that I think all the quarterbacks have always been compared to ever since Couch and Lorenzen and on up to date.
Now, did you ever have any interaction with Pirelli or the Bear?
I had an interesting reaction with Pirelli. Years later, and Blanda actually, there was a golf tournament. I think it was Jerry Claiborne's golf tournament in Lexington, and they had a bunch of old-time players come back. And I read it in the paper who was going to be there, and I don't think I'd ever been in town when Pirelli had been there. I didn't know it if I had. And I went in the hotel lobby and asked the desk if they had a Vito Pirelli staying there. And they said, yes, we do have a Mr. Pirelli here. And I said, can I call the room? And he didn't answer, and I left a message, and I didn't think I'd never hear from him. But I told him I was a big fan of his since I was a kid and blah, blah, blah. And then I was in the lobby hanging around, and about 5 or 10 minutes later, there was Babe Pirelli in the lobby looking for me.
Oh, wow.
And I got his signature on one end of a ball, and later that day I got Blanda on the other end.
What about the Bear? Did you ever get to meet him or talk to him?
I think that I don't have a vivid recollection of this, but it seems like we got in the dressing room one time because there was a connection. After Pirelli, the two quarterbacks at Kentucky were two West Kentucky boys, Bob Hardy from Paducah and Herbie Hunt from Mayfield. And I think through Herbie being there, it seemed like we got into the dressing room, but I remember meeting Rupp, and I remember vividly meeting Mickey Mantle and Jackie Robinson. I don't remember any specifics on meeting Bear.
I've got a Bear Bryant question for you, and of course, very successful Kentucky. What was the reason that Bear made the leave from Kentucky in your mind? Was it just more money? Was it the Alabama thing? Did he go right to Alabama? I think he did.
No, he went to Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. Okay. Okay. So what was the reason behind Bear? Was it because the days were different, and it didn't seem like coaches were chasing the almighty dollar back then, but maybe.
Very good question. The rumor or the old legendary tale has it that after Bear won the SEC and Rupp won it for the umpteenth time, that they gave Rupp a Cadillac and Bear Bryant a lighter, but that was total fabrication.
Hope it was a Zippo.
What actually happened was the powers that be in Kentucky ruled and gave a sort of a mandate to Bear Bryant to not take so many out-of-state players, say Meilinger and Pirelli and Bob Gain, and a lot of the football players came from Ohio and Pennsylvania. Didn't take too many Kentucky boys. And the I guess it was the board of trustees, but some of the powers that be told Bear he was going to have to take more Kentucky boys and less out-of-state boys. And that definitely crimped recruiting. And then on top of that, the next year, a guy came out of Louisville, Kentucky that he wanted really badly, and that was Paul Hornung, who won the Heisman Trophy and was a star of the Green Bay Packers. Hornung wanted to go to UK. His mother wanted to go to Notre Dame. His mother won out. He went to Notre Dame, won the Heisman, and Bear Bryant at that time realized he was never going to do in football what he had hoped to and build us into a real powerhouse, and that's basically why he left.
Bear is famous. I just recently saw a documentary on Bear. I was just curious about him, and what an interesting guy. Both his philosophy of players and on the field and winning, but they talked about him going to that wishbone offense with Alabama and winning all the championships. Do you remember did he run a wishbone? Was there a wishbone when he was at Kentucky, or do you remember the kind of offense that he ran there to get his success? Because it seemed like he just was decided at Alabama, we're going to run the wishbone and we're going to win with it, and he did. But do you remember what kind of offense he ran at Kentucky to be successful?
Let me throw in another fact about Bear that a lot of people don't know. With the internet like it is today, and talk shows on TV and radio, all the coaches are raked over the coals every week about anything that the announcers can get on them about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If the climate back then was like it is today, they would have crucified Bear Bryant for playing a terribly, terribly weak schedule. He only had to play 5 SEC games, and then he played Villanova and the Citadel, and a real easy schedule. Secondly, our big rival back then was not Louisville, it was Tennessee. Bear couldn't beat Tennessee. Bear lost, General Neyland was their coach, and in the 3 years that we had the best teams with Pirelli, Kentucky did not score a point on Tennessee. And so he'd be ripped apart today for that, and not quite so legendary. Now the next coach came in, Blanton Collier, and beat Tennessee 5 times and tied them another time that Tennessee was a favorite. So there's always a lot more meets the eye when you go behind the scenes on things.
Well, and when you talk about Bear Bryant, that was back in the days where they could sign, 150 kids and put them on track scholarship or tennis scholarship or whatever, and they could all be on the football team. As a matter of fact, when the SEC changed that rule where you couldn't do that, they called it the Bear Bryant rule because he used to sign everybody and put them on every team there was.
Well, also, didn't Rupp used to use football scholarships to get basketball players?
Well, it's sort of the other way around.
Well, oh, really?
And you brought up a point that I was going to make. On the 46th football team with George Blanda, you know, the basketball players in school at that time were Ralph Beard and Wawa Jones and Alex Groza, 3 All-Americans. won several national championships. If you look in the 1946 UK program to look up Blanda on the football team, you'll also see Wawa Jones and Ralph Beard.
Yeah. Well, Wawa Jones, isn't he in the Circle Hall of Fame or whatever that's?
He lettered, I think, in 4 sports.
Wow. That's something you couldn't do today. I mean, there'd just be no way.
Yeah. But truthfully, wasn't Collier didn't he have the better coaching staff?
Collier had a fabulous coaching staff at the end. I was a senior in high school in 1959. Y'all know the only undefeated pro team there ever was the Dolphins. The Dolphins coaching staff was made up of head coach Don Shula, offensive coordinator Howard Snellenberger, and defensive coordinator was Arnsparger. They all came off of the 1959 Kentucky staff of Blanton Collier.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people would realize that Shula was on that staff. You know, you would because, you know, you're like the biggest UK fan ever, but and I've seen it. You know, it was a little before my time, but I don't think the average person would look at Don Shula and everything. Of course, he's like Mr. Miami Dolphin, but I don't think people would realize that he was at UK.
Well, they look at Pat Riley like that sometimes, too. They might not realize he was a superstar at UK.
Talking this morning with Kent Reed, who is a big sports fan, bigger UK fan. Bruce Alexander is in here with us this morning. Ty Englebright sitting in on the show. And Kent, do you have any idea how many UK games you've been to over the years?
No, I really don't. More football games than basketball, probably. I've had season tickets in both sports, but it's harder to get up there in the winter. And for a basketball game, you're just going for usually that one day. In football, it's a party weekend. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. Saturday we're meeting Joey Randolph and Chris George, and then there'll be a lot of other guys there, and it's just a happening, and it'll be a festive weekend.
Joey Randolph was sports editor at the Times Leader before I got there, and of course Chris George helps us on football stats now, so that's a pretty good Caldwell County crew you've got going there.
Who was the first sports editor?
Oh, now you've got me. You.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not realize that. So you kind of started all of us on this path then.
I came and asked John and Betsy Hutchison. They didn't have a sports page at that time. Had a real nice looking paper, and I knew Chip a little bit, and I came and asked him if I could be the sports editor. And the only pay I wanted was just to send a newspaper subscription to my parents in Birchtown so they could keep up with Princeton. So yeah, I was first one.
See,
I wrote a little column called "Time Out," I think. And it wasn't much. Joey surpassed me, and then you've blown everybody out of the water since then.
Well,
by comparison.
Busy show today. Kent Reed in here with us. Bruce Alexander sitting in. Ty Englebright. Need to get to break, but first of all, I want to tell you about Dave's Deal of the Week at U-Ride in Princeton. It's a 2013 Chevy Cruze. Only 25,000 miles on it. See Dave for details at U-Ride in Princeton. That's U-Ride, 310 Marion Road, Princeton. Telephone 270-365-3215. Be sure to ask for Dave's Deal of the Week. Back with more on the Sideline Report after this on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Sunshine today with a high near 84. Tonight, mostly clear, low around 62. Now tomorrow, sunshine for Football Friday with a high near 86. And then on Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 88. Should be gorgeous all the way through the weekend for your Labor Day weekend. Sunny on Labor Day itself with a high near 86. Again, sunshine today with a high near 84.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Rogers Pet Grooming.
Need cash fast? Get money you need. Call ABC Finance now.
Life doesn't always go as planned, and sometimes money is tight when you need it most.
At ABC Finance, we're here for you.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
And we can help you in a pinch, even if your credit is less than perfect.
At ABC Finance, we provide loans up to $15,000 and the individual attention to help you get your finances back on track.
We are locally owned and staffed, and decisions are made quickly, usually within an hour.
No appointment is needed. Walk-ins are welcome.
You can even give us a call, and we will take your application over the phone.
Or you can apply online at abcfinanceonline.com.
And like ABC Finance on Facebook.
ABC Finance in Hopkinsville on Fort Campbell Boulevard next to O'Charlie's and in Princeton Plaza. ABC Finance. All loans subject to normal credit approval.
The Sideline Report continues at 1580 103.3 WPKY. Todd Griffin in the WPKY studios. Joining us on the show today, Kent Reed, Bruce Alexander, Ty Englebright sitting in with us. He's sort of the Warren Zevon of the Sideline Report. Hey, anytime you knew that Warren Zevon was on late night, it was going to be a good show.
It was going to be a great show. I mean, you got it all. But yeah, boy, we miss him, don't we?
Absolutely. Speaking of sports and speaking of UK, though, we got some breaking news.
Yeah, just was reading where Mark Stoops had some amendments to his contract, Todd. Pretty interesting here. He's got new incentives. Now, the contract through 2025 doesn't change much, but there's new incentives for winning SEC Coach of the Year, National Coach of the Year possibly, and, of course, there's a larger buyout if that's needed. So it looks like they're UK trying to position themselves to keep Mr. Stoops long term.
They were obviously listening to the show this morning.
They had to be. It was kind of interesting. I was just rolling through some UK stuff, and about 15 minutes ago, that broke.
Yeah,
so.
Good deal. And Kent, the Cats last year going 10-3. That was kind of a breakthrough season for the football program, at least in more recent history. What's your outlook for this season?
Everybody has picked us down this season since we lost so many really great players to the NFL. Josh Allen and
Benny Snell
and Conrad and Edwards and the whole defensive backfield. But Kentucky's got a lot of Stoops has done it. Let me put it this way. The two other guys that ought to get a contract bump up, and that's Vince Merrill and Clinksdale, is now catching up. Clinksdale's had some major recruits as quickly as, or as recently as the other day when they got a defensive back from LSU to transfer to Kentucky.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's all world. But I think we'll have another good team. I think this will be a totally different team. I think it'll be the offense will be much more diverse. They're not going to ride Benny Snell down the field 30 times a game. This team, I think, will pass much more. They can pass to the backs. They got some good receiving backs. They've got a good contingent of backs in Rose and the two freshmen.
And Smoke's not bad.
And then they've got they're really strong at tight end. Even losing Conrad, we're probably stronger at tight end than we were last year. The question marks, if there are any, are quarterback and defensive backs, but they say that the quarterback's improved a tremendous amount, and while he had some rough games last year and growing pains, he still won 10 games.
Right.
And
beat Florida.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ended that streak.
And then, I think the outlook, I'll be disappointed if they don't win 7 or 8 games this year, even though a lot of people are picking them not to go to a bowl and to not go 6-6, but I think they will.
It looks to me like the schedule's a little maybe easier this year than it was last year. What do you think?
I think the schedule's a little tougher.
Really?
Because those same teams, some of them that we beat last year are going to be a lot better this year. South Carolina, Missouri, several of those teams will be better this year. And then Florida is going to be definitely looking for us.
And you got Georgia out there.
Oh, yeah.
And Georgia, always
yeah.
a toughie. The SEC East used to be the power side of it. For years and years, we had to fight Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee to get up there, and that was a tough road. Now it's switched right now, but those things are cyclic, and they come and they go.
Yeah, the only game I really couldn't figure out last year was the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
Still kind of at a loss as to what happened there.
They just, I think, wasn't Georgia the next week?
Oh, I can't remember.
Or Georgia was the previous week or the next week. They didn't play well. That's all there is to it. They had a bad game, and they should have beaten Tennessee.
Now, you said you're going up. It's going to be kind of festive. Of course, we open with Toledo this Saturday, and it's the home opener, and it's Houston Hog Day. Tell us about that. Do you know who Houston Hog is? You heard of that name?
Yeah, Houston Hog's a player, ex-football player from Owensboro.
Okay.
And one of the first blacks in the Southeastern Conference, along with the other ones that have statues up, Northington and Greg Page and mine's playing trip. Oh, Wilbur Hackett.
Okay.
Wilbur Hackett.
That's a great football name, though.
Yeah.
Hackett was a good linebacker. I think if Page had not had that accident, he would have been an outstanding player.
But I think you're right on the offense looking different this year. I think Eddie Gran, who I guess is the offensive coordinator or assistant head coach or whatever. What do you think, Bruce?
I would like to see him do something on offense, and not having Benny, I think the offense will be more diverse, like Kent said. But what I like is my favorite Wildcat really of all time now is because of his charisma is Cash Daniels. I mean, you just see him out on the field and off the field. I mean, he's a leader, and he may be the better leader of the team. So
the defensive front is going to be very, very impressive. Nose guard, tackles, and the ends, and they're going to be really outstanding defense up front. The linebackers, besides Cash, are a little bit young, but there's some real talent there, and there's some real talent in the defensive secondary. They just don't have any experience.
Well, the defensive linemen are the ones that are toughest to get. I think if you look around the SEC or just college football, you know, you can find receivers, you can maybe find quarterbacks, you can maybe find offensive linemen. Those great big defensive linemen that can move, which you have to have now, you got to be able to move a little bit. Those guys are not as plentiful. So to me, those are the guys that are the toughest if you're a recruiter to go out and get.
I think it's just the opposite for Kentucky, because really Kentucky's becoming a destination for defensive linemen because of the way they're developing. They took Josh Allen from a 2-star recruit to top 10 in the NFL, and Vince Morrow is going out and using that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going out, they're recruiting, they're getting, I think defensive linemen are coming there, looking at Kentucky, and they're choosing Kentucky over Clemson and Alabama. And that's really something that wouldn't have happened 2 years ago.
To me, though, that's the difference in good programs and not good programs, is that the defensive line is so important, and there just aren't as many great defensive linemen out there, so it's a little tougher to go out and find those guys and get them on campus.
But they're, if they're developing 2 stars into NFL stars, then imagine when they get this 5-star next year, Rogers from the kid from Michigan.
Yeah.
And, it's becoming a destination school for defensive linemen.
Definitely on the right path for sure. And Ken, I think as a UK football fan, we've all seen some rough days. And so, you look back to last season's 10-3. I certainly enjoyed it, so I know you had to enjoy last year too.
We won 7 the year,
Yeah.
2 years before that. Each year he's won a little bit more, and I think that's going to cease this year, but still. But we're recruiting extremely well out of state and now in state. They got a couple of boys. They got 4 boys out of Louisville last year we normally would not have gotten. Vince Mayer went over there and got Casey and the big defensive end, Weaver, and another linebacker and a wide receiver. And then this year we've got 2 top receivers in Louisville coming. This is going to be the boys that are going to be seniors in high school this year, who will be freshmen at UK next year, is probably the best class we've ever had. And they're not quite through with it either.
We've talked a lot about UK football. Let's go to UK basketball for just a little bit. And do you have a Coach Rupp story?
Yeah, got a couple. I had always, of course, idolized Rupp and thought I'd never see him or come in contact with him. And when I was first moved here, I coached Little League basketball some number of years. One of the other coaches was Doug Ridley, a farmer and guy who became a real good friend of mine, Doug and Mary and all their kids. And Doug knew Coach Rupp through cattle farming. And one day I was out to Ridley's, and this has been a long time ago. Doug said, I think I'll call Coach Rupp up. And I about dropped my teeth.
Yeah.
And he did. They talked about a Hereford for a few minutes, and he said, there's a friend of mine right here who wants to say hello. And so that was one of 2 contacts that I had, although it was quite a stretch. And then the other one, the Final Four was played in Louisville in 59 and 63. And we had seats up in Freedom Hall in the Boondocks for a couple of those games. And we would move down when we could to get a closer view as maybe the first game ended and a couple of teams left, some seats cleared out. And I remember going down there, and I wasn't in a seat. I was sitting in an aisle. And I looked up, and there was Coach Rupp sitting on the seat beside of me.
Wow.
And I don't remember if I said hi or ducked my head or whatever, but that's my 2 closest to Rupp stories.
Well, Coach Rupp could be an intimidating kind of guy.
Yeah, he was. He and his assistant, Harry Lancaster, who at one time married a Bardstown lady, and they were pretty tough on the kids back then. That's how Coach Hall was a great coach, I thought, and a great guy. But he learned. He looked pretty hard on them at some times during his career, and he didn't really show his charisma and the kind of person he really was, and that was because he came up under Rupp and Lancaster. They were tough old birds.
Yeah, one of the first interviews I ever did when I got to the newspaper office was Coach Hall. He was in town one day, and I got to pull him aside. Of course, some other people knew him, and that's kind of how I got, the interview, but that was a lot of fun.
He's been in my drugstore before. I know Coach Hall pretty well. I've been over to his house for supper, and super guy. And he has really hit it off with Calipari and given a lot of knowledge and experience to Calipari.
And what a great face for Kentucky basketball, really, and an ambassador for Kentucky Coach Hall is, because I moved here in September of 1980. I had a friend in Florida named Andy Bone. He listens a lot, so I hope Andy's listening to this because he appreciates always a Wildcat fan. He and his dad, Dr. Bill Bone, over in Clinton, Kentucky. But I always heard about Kentucky, and Kentucky basketball especially. And I was, what is the obsession with this? So I moved up here, and finally, Coach Hall was the coach when I moved up here, and finally understood what it was all about, the craze, because there wasn't anything more comforting than listening to the radio in the fall, and you got Kaywood Ledford on there, and Coach Hall's good old country drawl, and then all those wonderful players that came through at that time, and but just an incredible ambassador overall for the university is Coach Hall, even today.
Yeah, he is. He certainly is.
Kent, did you ever talk to Kaywood? I mean, to me,
Kaywood
was my hero, man.
Yeah. I had Kaywood down here to Princeton to speak at the, I guess it was a Chamber of Commerce banquet, and introduced him and sat by him, and he was a very interesting fellow.
Was there a more professional guy than Kaywood Ledford? I mean, just the way he carried himself, the way he dressed. I mean, listening to him on the radio, I mean, wow.
Kentucky's been blessed with announcers. I didn't ever think there'd be another announcer as good as Claude Sullivan.
Yeah.
He was the initial announcer, and he was wonderful. And I think he got cancer, and I didn't think he'd ever be replaced. And then came Kaywood, and then the one now is really good.
Yeah, and he had Ralph Hacker in there as well, and did a fantastic job. But I think those guys, what they do, when you have that game on the radio and those nights, they become your buddies.
Yeah.
They become your friends. They're rooting for UK. You're cheering for UK. But they do it professionally, where they're not showing total bias. But we know who they're for.
Yeah.
But they become our friends, and we just love and come to used to hearing those voices the night there's a game, and it's comforting. It's a comfort.
I mean, honestly, I turn on the radio and turn down the TV and listen to that because, well, most of the TV announcers are just annoying now.
Yeah. Well, we need to get to another break here on the Sideline Report. Got more to go, though, so stick with us. We'll continue on the show after this on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Sunshine today with a high near 84. Tonight, mostly clear, low around 62. Now tomorrow, sunshine for Football Friday with a high near 86. And then on Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 88. Should be gorgeous all the way through the weekend for your Labor Day weekend. Sunny on Labor Day itself with a high near 86. Again, sunshine today with a high near 84.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Jeff Russo, attorney at law.
Since 1978, Perry's Floors & More has been selling, installing, and servicing homeowners throughout Western Kentucky with quality flooring and workmanship. Perry's Floors & More carries luxury vinyl plank and luxury vinyl tile, carpet, window treatments, and more. Brands like Mannington, Shaw, Tarkett, Beaulieu, and Flexitech. Quality brands, excellent customer service, combined with 40 years experience is why they say you can walk on our reputation. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors & More, 127 West Market Street, Princeton.
This is Jerry Gillum of Aquest Financial. I'm excited to introduce Agrichem as our new retail partner in the region. Aquest and Agrichem share the same philosophy, working together for your success. And with our new partnership, Agrichem goes beyond seed, fertility, and crop protection products with the addition of Aquest loan products, including secured and unsecured lines of credit, leasing options, and real estate, facility, and equipment loans. Call me, Jerry Gillum, at the Agrichem office in Hopkinsville for more information.
Nothing better than a little hot chocolate on a Thursday morning from 1580 103.3 WPKY. Ty, some nice bump back music there.
Yeah, it takes us back back to the day. But it was all it had a little chill in the air this morning. Maybe hot chocolate been pretty good, as a matter of fact.
One of those, they always call it a lost hit, but I mean it's not a lost hit.
No.
They were awesome.
They were awesome. That was. What was the name of that group? I can't. I don't get
Hot Chocolate.
Hot Chocolate.
Yeah.
I guess. I can. I don't
That
have my
was
headphones
everyone's-
on. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I could hear it and you couldn't, so
Okay.
I guess I had an advantage over you there.
I couldn't name it. What's the name of the song though? I can't remember.
Everyone's a winner, I
Everyone's
think
a
is-
winner. Yeah.
Speaking of music, Todd, you saw. I've been to a lot of concerts in my life, but you went and saw Iron Maiden lately. How was that?
Yes, it was incredible. I've
Let's
seen
not
them
talk
three
about it.
times, and that was the best show. And those guys are all like 60-something. How they do it, I have no idea.
And they fly their own plane.
Yeah, and the lead singer flies a plane, so it's
Well, I mean, I saw Pink Floyd, and they were in their 60s then, and it was just. I saw them on several times in '94.
I saw the Stones in their 70s and their 90s. No, I'm kidding. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I saw the Stones when they were old too. But they're still getting it done. All these guys, and it's pretty cool.
I saw the Stones actually it was Keith Richards and Mick just showed up with a backing band, and they played the Exit In after they'd played Bridgestone one night. They just showed up. A friend of mine called me and said, "Get to the Exit In. You got 2 hours. Get there." And it was $5. I got in, and
wow.
out walks Mick Jaggers and Keith Richards.
That's pretty cool.
And it was awesome.
Coming up Friday night at Tiger Stadium, as we shift gears just a little bit quickly, want to mention Tiger football hosting Owensboro Apollo for the first time ever. The Tigers and Eagles going at it, and man, what a special night at Tiger Stadium last Friday night. Be tough to duplicate that atmosphere this week, but at home again. Apollo is a Class 6A school, beat Warren Central last week 66-56. However, the Eagles gave up 669 yards of offense to Warren Central, and that's a Warren Central team that has now lost 36 straight games. A Warren Central team that led Apollo 56-42 with 11 minutes to go. Warren Central with a little unique outlook on football. Apparently they onside kick every time, never punted, so maybe that helped the score run up a little bit too. But I think a lot of people saw that Apollo score and thought, oh man, the Tigers are in for a rough one this week. But I think, again, kind of like last week, it's a 50-50 game, and I think if the Tigers play well, they've got another chance to pull out a win.
No doubt about it, and I tell you, obviously no defense in that game, and I kind of like the way the Tiger defense. Of course, I was not in attendance. I heard a quality radio broadcast on WPKY, and congratulations to you all. What a great night of football on a great night at Tiger Stadium. So excellent job by the entire broadcast crew and those there. But yeah, I think the defense sounded like they came to play. Of course, everyone was inspired by the night with the passing of Coach Barnes, and I think we'll be in good shape for Owensboro Apollo this Friday night.
Need a good defensive effort. Apollo ran for 343 yards last week, and you were speaking of Hogs earlier. Junior Harold Hogg, a 5'10", 170-pound transfer from Owensboro Catholic, ran for 192 and 3 touchdowns for Apollo last week, and they've got a nice-looking quarterback that can throw it a little bit and run the football. I mean,
we'll have to contain the Hog,
yeah.
sounds like. So it'd be interesting to see, but I think the Tiger D is up for it.
Yeah.
And, obviously Warren Central, giving up that kind of yardage, I don't expect the Caldwell County Tigers to give up anything near that, and they'll be out ready to play Friday night.
Should be a fun night at the old football stadium.
Yes, sir.
In the studio with us today, we've got Kent Reed, we've got Bruce Alexander, Ty Englebright is here. Been talking UK sports, and Ty, I'm not sure where we got to in the UK conversation, but as we bring Kent back in now, we're talking a little basketball, and you mentioned Coach Hall and his relationship with Coach Calipari, and Calipari kind of, I don't want to say he put UK basketball back on the map, because I don't think it ever really went anywhere, but Coach Cal certainly keeps the Cats in the news with recruitment, and Cats are usually ranked pretty high and those kind of things.
Right, and again, it's like I said about Bear Bryant. He was a great coach. He had some things you could have griped about. Calipari, same way. He's put a great team on the floor every year. wins, done a great PR work, and got us great players. But the NCAA championships are not piling up like I think everybody hoped and thought they might.
I think those things, though, every year get a little more difficult to win.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have the best team, and you look at the way the NCAA tournament is designed.
Well, you look, and the second best player in the NBA draft came from Murray State. So
Right.
everybody's on TV now, down to the lowest team. You don't have to go to Kentucky, Duke, Indiana. Well, Indiana's not good anymore, but Kansas. You don't have to go to those schools to be on TV constantly.
And as a UK fan, it breaks my heart that Indiana's not very good anymore, but
Yeah, just break.
No doubt about it. But it also is just it's just become where even the small teams, or the Cinderellas as we used to call them in the tournament, really there's not, if you make it there the way it's designed, you've got a chance to make a deep run if you get that streak going and if you get a good draw.
Well, we've seen several low seeds. I mean, seeing Loyola, was it Loyola of Chicago?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
they went to the Final Four and
Won it.
Huh?
They won
no,
it.
I mean 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
2
talking
years
about
ago.
in '63 where they beat Cincinnati.
Well, 2 years, but 2 years ago they were not expected to be out of the first round and made to the Final Four.
yeah,
run.
the seeds don't mean now what they used to mean. I think at one time, if you were a 2, 3, or a 4 seed, you were expecting a pretty easy romp in that first game, and now you can be a 1 seed, and there's 16 seeds out there that will
And you better
give
look
you all
out.
they want. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it.
Highly competitive.
Kent, as you were a kid, obviously just a lover of sports. What is it about sports? All of us here in the room love sports, and we love it in a different way, different teams. But what do you think it is about sports that brings people together and gives us something, especially on the weekends or middle of the week, whether it's a high school team, college team, or pro team? What is it that sports that brings us all together, brings humanity together? What is it that you love about sports? It's just the best thing ever.
Well, everybody has their problems in life, and that's a great escape if you have a team you follow or love, or have a sport that you really enjoy, where things have changed so much. I'm showing my age today, I know, but things have changed. As a kid, we all played outside all the time. Now, when I see kids, they're going on their phone. They're playing games on their phone. I don't think kids today play ball like they used to. We were playing something every day all year long, and never in the house, and never hardly sitting down. And I hate that. Kids have quit collecting baseball cards. Most of your baseball collectors are adults, and you see very few of the kids like we were when we were 9, 10, 11, 12, going and collecting cards, whether it be baseball, football, or basketball, or something else, and trading them, and getting to know the players that they watched on TV by that, and trying to emulate them as you played on the sandlot or in Little League.
Well, Kent, I had a whole lot of other things I wanted to ask you, but it's 9 o'clock. Where did the time go?
Well, when you have good conversation and a wealth of knowledge here, it goes pretty quick. And Kent has one of the best card collections, baseball cards collections around, and we didn't even get into that.
No, that was on the list, and a
but
lot of
maybe
other things, but
another time. But I think it's because the gum's really bad that nobody doesn't do the cards anymore. It's always been bad, though. It's always about the cards, at least when I was a kid. So
I don't even think the cards come with gum.
They probably
anymore.
don't.
They do not.
Yeah.
And the rising cost of them.
Yeah.
That kind of drives the kids away.
Yeah.
And they got to where they printed too many, but I mean, those are all things.
But we'll have to talk about that great card collection sometime. At some point.
Kent, you've got to come back in be
I'd
on the show again.
Be glad to. And there's one other thing I meant to throw in there.
Yeah.
When we were talking about Kentucky and Caldwell County football, about the time in the 60s, before and when I moved here, Kentucky had their co-captain was Kerry Curling from here.
Yeah.
In one of the biggest upsets of all time, where we beat Ole Miss when they were number 1 in the country down at Jackson, Mississippi. Ed Settle played in that game, Dr. Settle.
Yeah.
Then they recruited, that's when Charlie Bradshaw was trying to kill the program. But we also had Bill Henry Cartwright, and we had Joby Loftus and Donnie Miller all go up there. So it's 6 players in just a handful of years.
Pipeline there for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's going to wrap us up on the show today. Again, thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Kent, thank you for coming in. And like I said, we just scratched the surface on stuff that I wanted to speak about today. And, had to have part 2 of the show some other time.
Well, I enjoyed it.
Thank you
very much.
Enjoyed sitting in, Todd, as always. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. That's Bruce Alexander, Kent Reed, Ty Englebright. This is Todd Griffin. Thanks for listening to our show today. This has been the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
The voice of Caldwell County. We're 1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton.